Hold.
That's a soul eater. If that kills us, that's it. No Valhalla, no hell, no afterlife, ever.
It does not attack.
Mom made them sound more dangerous than that.
Then do not drop your guard. Come. Get back!
Nice! See ya! Above us! Wow! Amazing!
What is this?
It's the world serpent.
Take on board!
I am!
What is it saying?
He wants to help us!
hunt down and destroy the enemies of existence itself. The 7 deadly sins have escaped and are ravaging the earth. They must be stopped.
Hello, brother.
Do you accept this undertaking? Though they are 7, and you but 1.
With pleasure. are nested with sin. Free them, that they may know my... Yara! Where is the other apostate?
Watch your backs.
The brigantine is devastating up close, with a battering ram designed to break any resistance. The sloop of war kills from afar, with its crippling long-ranged mortars and precise long 9 cannons.
Sail! Flying hostile colors! All sail! Ride the wind! All hands on deck! Position fixed!
Open fire!
Nothing will save you now! Brace for impact! Woo! Drown, you soggy nutmegs!
Don't let bloodlust cloud your purpose. You're here for the loot, and so are your rivals.
Store the goods, then back to your stations.
The team that escapes with the most loot claims victory.
Speed, Mr. Mercy! Vamos con todo!
Our gang of pirates is now taking aim at the frigate, and it will take team coordination to take her down.
Fuego!
Hold tight, lads! That ship's badly damaged!
They're killing! We can take their ship!
With the enemy ship's broadside now vulnerable, our frigate rushes in to board her.
No quarter! Taste of blackened silver!
Fancy snorting some fish piss?
The pirate hunter defenses are so strong that the only option is escape. The brigantine is sacrificing herself to buy time for the frigate, who carries the most loot.
Incoming fire!
The frigate now needs to make its escape through the reefs.
Captain, let's make for the reefs!
Successful pirates know when to run, with their hulls full and the wind at their backs.
Sailor, what will we do with the drunken sailor? What will we do?
Control, we're at the fence. Almost ready to re-engage power. Hey, hey! Over here!
ACU building online. Rapid response unit deployed. Observe non-lethal protocols.
Roger, Control. Deploying non-lethal countermeasures. Control, we have eyes on the asset.
With Fisk behind bars, what's next?
And the city's safer than ever. Maybe Peter Parker can have more of a life.
Are you in trouble? Do you need money?
No, I mean, I'm a little behind on my rent, but no, I'm fine.
Take care of this place. It represents the best part of me.
This is Miles. He's gonna be helping out around here.
For acts of extraordinary bravery. I'm the one who kept order in this city!
What is this? Devil's breath.
Your city and everything you care about will be destroyed. The people will beg you for help, but you won't be able to save them.
Get more backup. Wait!
We've got to play this just right.
Please stop!
Maybe the city needs our friend more than you think.
So we're now en route to the docks to find Sean and understand why he's fled away from the hospital and probably killed another patient, Harriet Jones. As a vampire, you have access to skills in combat as well as outside of combat, often to help you traverse a semi-open world. The most efficient way to grow stronger is to feed from the healthy, not to fight those risking the flu and pollution in the streets to hunt vampires and skulls. If we were unable to beat this mini-boss, we would be tempted to return to the bar, and perhaps feed from Tom for a greater experience boost, returning stronger, but with London thinning in numbers. Vampire's combat system uses a mix of melee and ranged weapons supported by vampire abilities that allow you to be the vampire you want to be. The gameplay is based on timing, positioning, and management of different resources. The stamina bar regulates your melee moves and dodges, the blood bar controls the use of your supernatural abilities, and the health bar represents your health. There are many areas to explore, loot, and pick up information to learn about the world, its lore, and what happened to London since disease spread. At the beach, we're fighting people operating under the head of the vampire hunter's orders. The Pruin guards are investigating this beach, searching for skulls.
Stay close, keep an eye on each other.
Skulls are a lesser species of vampires lurking in quarantine areas, underground or in dark corners. Due to the Spanish flu epidemic, they have suffered heavy mutations and have recently become very aggressive. It's part of your quest to understand how they became such creatures and ultimately find a cure to save them. In this world, the human vampire hunters and skulls are having their own fight. As long as we don't get too close, we can just move on. Sean is a saint who manages a night asylum to provide food and rest to the poorest. Unfortunately, he has recently turned into a skull. You believe that, incapable of dealing with his new condition, he has fled from the hospital, a sacred ground, and murdered Harriet Jones, an old woman who certainly didn't deserve it. Most importantly, he is the pillar of the dock community, which means he's a very important character whose fate will deeply impact the district and everyone who lives within it.
Are you certain you're not lost, sir? You seem quite a stranger to these parts.
so the place is a mess. You do the housework, the washing, you cook the meals. That's Alice. You look after her. Homework, bath, all that crap. Got it?
Right away, Todd. Aren't you going to school today? I'm sure we used to be friends before I was reset. Maybe we can be friends again.
You shouldn't mess around with my stuff. It makes me nervous.
I'm sorry, Todd.
What are you looking at? Maybe you think this is easy. Maybe you think it's my fault your fucking mother took off. Fucking whore walked out on me for a fucking account. Come back here. You stay there. Don't you dare fucking move. Alice! Daddy's very mad. It's all over now. Daddy isn't angry anymore. You know Daddy loves you. This is all your fault!
He's coming. He's gonna hurt me. Run! Get away, or he's gonna break you like last time.
You're coming with me. That's enough! I want you to leave Alice alone.
She's mine. I do what I want with her!
Kara!
Come back here!
Watch out, Kara!
This world is slowing down. How can I fight it? How can I listen when there's no sound? Oh, the wolves are out. Yes, the wolves are out.
Sometimes you can hear Boomer growling when he feels a threat nearby. And Boomer is just part of Far Cry 5's living world we've built, where there's always something, or someone, around you whether you notice it or not. This means you'll always need to be prepared. Boomer will stand his ground and defend you from predators, as there are a lot of moments for the player to hunt or be hunted. And we've built a deep ecosystem that represents Montana's wilderness.
So, we've seen ducks, a sturgeon, deer, and this is just a small sample of all of the wild animals that you'll encounter in Hope County. So now we've jumped into Nick Rye's plane. It's been in his family for generations, and with it we'll take to the sky to destroy some cult silos that are hoarding explosives.
The world that we've built is larger than any Far Cry before, and for the first time you can explore the world in any direction that you choose right from the start. In this demo, we're in Holland Valley, and this is just one small part of Hope County.
Montana is called Big Sky Country after all. Flying is a great way to travel, explore the county, and scout out new opportunities. And also blow things up.
Woo-wee! Look at that go! Nice work, partner. Go get the other one.
Oh, looks like the cult has decided to intervene. That plane belongs to a Chosen. Now, the Chosen are elite soldiers, and it's their job to basically crush any threat to the project at Eden's Gate. So we've done enough to anger the cult. We're going to engage in a little dogfight with them and show them what we think of them.
That's right. Even in the air, there's a lot of opportunities for the player to, find or discover or get chased by or get discovered. Yeah, totally. Hunt or be hunted, as we call it. I think right now we are the predator.
Yep, we got them on the run. They're smoking. And we did it.
Well done.
It's also very complex. You can perform 3 types of attacks: slash, stab, kick, and you can attack 5 different directions: head, left and right upper body, and left and right lower body.
On top of that, we have special techniques. Introducing special situational combat techniques into a video game was not an easy task, because you have limited controls, limited field of view, limited knowledge of your surroundings. So we came up with combos. And it works like in your typical fighting game. If you chain particle strikes, you can weaken the enemy and then finish him with special attack. We wanted to let you try and fight with almost every common weapon that was used back then. Axe, or mace, is heavy. It's short, slow, quite bad at defense, but very practical in armored fight. Sword, on the other hand, is an all-purpose combat tool, but a good sword was quite expensive.
You can see how effective it is in our other video.
In medieval times, you never go wrong if you bring a shield with you to the battlefield, or something long enough to keep the enemy at a distance. The very new feature of the game is unarmed combat, because sometimes you don't want to hurt someone too much. Throughout the game, you can also learn special techniques that allow you to strike back even during the parry. These master strikes will slay your typical foe quite quickly, or they can give you more space or some other advantage. But they are very difficult to perform when you first learn them. However, we are the RPG, so if you train a little, your gaming character gets used to these techniques, and they become much easier to perform. And you can always bring a big heavy shield, and you don't need to learn this fancy stuff, or just get a bow and shoot everyone, or get them from behind when they are sleeping or fighting someone else. All these techniques, parrying, master strikes or combo strikes, are based on real historical martial arts. We worked with experts to make fighting in Kingdom Come as real as possible. And it's still a lot of fun.
So, that's our combat system. It took a lot of people, a lot of effort to create something unique, complex, and as close to the real thing as possible, but intuitive and accessible at the same time. But I believe that we nailed it. Thanks for watching, and bye.
We were told that one day, the Ravenni would return, that oceans of blood would be spilled, and humanity would become a forgotten relic. Others claimed false prophecy, but I felt it in my bones. Beyond the mountains, beyond the trees, beyond the light, they grew stronger in the shadows. And there will be a reckoning. age of heroes is at its end.
I mean, the most obvious difference so far is the last one was nighttime during the rain, and this is daytime during the snow.
Yeah, and it's not just cosmetic, and I think that's one of the things we really wanted to emphasize, because this time we're showing sort of a day in the life of Deacon. You see he's on the drifter bike here. We wanted to show a little more of the bike riding and how the weather can kind of impact that. So we have this drifting mechanic, right? You see him kind of slipping and sliding around a little
Changes
bit.
the handling of the bike. That's really interesting. Now, there were wolves there last time, John, and these wolves would pursue you down this road, and then Deacon had to turn his back, shoot a wolf, and he got clotheslined right up there, didn't he?
Yeah, exactly. So this time you see that he wasn't being chased by the wolves. That's a dynamic event that can that can happen or not. It just depends on when you're playing the game.
Interesting.
And this time Deacon saw the ambush and he was able to avoid it. So he kind of comes up and around and behind them.
So does weather impacts whether these creatures show up or not in daytime and nighttime, all that stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. So especially the freakers, they come out, they're mostly nocturnal, but they will come out as the weather gets colder. They become stronger in the cold.
Right.
And so that will, again, kind of change up the way the game plays.
That's very, very, I kind of love that you decided to do this as a demo to show two completely different iterations on the same exact mission in the game.
Yes, exactly. So we wanted to have, the job is basically the same. Deacon hears that his buddy's in trouble, rides out to save his life. And, as you can see here, this is a completely different experience from what we showed in the first demo. In the first one, Deacon gets clotheslined, and it sounded very painful, by the way.
Speaking of painful, okay, so the combat in this game is fairly brutal. John, you want to talk about that a little bit?
Well, we just wanted to make it as realistic as possible. So, yeah, we're not holding back on that at all. And Sam's done most of his own stunt work for this. And I can tell you that when we're on the performance stage and we're capturing that stuff, we just try to keep it real, right?
Right. Well, right. There was sort of a decision made at some point. I've been on the project for 2 or 3 years now.
Yeah, I think 3 years.
In the previous demo?
No, they weren't, right? So that's another big difference is that if you come here during the day, it's like in the media showcase demo, there was like kind of a fight club thing going on.
Right.
They were punching each other and everybody was just sort of getting into it. Nobody's really paying attention to what's going on.
Yeah.
And now it's getting dark and it's cold out. So, they've built these bonfires. So, and again, it's not just a cosmetic change in the way the...
Well, it's cold, right?
Yeah, it's because it's cold.
They have to build some...
So it changes the way the Marauders behave in the level.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's very... Again, this is part of the reason why I love that you did this as a demo, because the behavior of all of these things, not just the Freakers, but the Marauders, everything, there's a logic to it. You can track why they're doing the things that they're doing. And you can use it to your advantage in the gameplay. That's kind of what I like about this so much.
And that's really what we wanted to showcase this year, is that it's an open world game, and everything you see around here. And again, we're only playing this 2 different ways. You saw that waterfall way up there off in the distance. There's a bridge that goes in front of that. If you had a sniper rifle and enough ammunition, you could have driven your bike all the way up there. There's trails that go all the way up there.
You hear? The wind carries her voice above the forest. I feel how she fills me up. Let's not make her wait any longer, my plaything.
Samurai. You are a warrior. I can see that. You trained your whole life for this. And you have won battles that lesser men have called unwinnable, yes? But while you were sharpening your sword, do you know how I prepared for today? I learned. I know your language, your traditions, your beliefs, which villages to tame and which to burn. So I'll ask you once again, Samurai. Do you surrender?